Have you ever seen a president who refuses to accept blame and, I want to add to that, commits so many falsehoods? I'm being very polite here, calling it falsehoods. Falsehoods, on any given day, he's out there saying stuff that just ain't true. You ever see anything like that?
Never in my lifetime. I said today that there has never been a time in my life where a president was more disconnected from the American people.
So nice to see Mike Pence stay loyal to the Hang Mike Pence party. Like, I'm sorry, but I swear to God, I think we're being trolled at this point. Kudlow literally asks Pence if he's, quote, ever seen anything like that, and Pence replies, never in my lifetime, so yeah, I'll just be banging my head against the wall for the next 11 hours. I'm not sure exactly where to even begin here, so let's try to start with Kudlow asking if we've ever seen a president who refuses to accept blame like Joe Biden purportedly does. Here's Donald Trump just over a year ago when asked if he takes responsibility for the lack of coronavirus testing.
Mr. President, Dr. Fauci said earlier this week that the lag in testing was, in fact, a failing. Do you take responsibility for that? And when can you guarantee that every single American who needs a test will be able to have a test? What's the date of that?
Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all because we were given a set of circumstances and we were given rules, regulations, and specifications from a different time. Wasn't meant for this kind of an event with the kind of numbers that we're talking about. And what we've done is redesigned it very quickly with the help of the people behind me. And we're now in very, very strong shape. I think we'll be announcing, as I said, Sunday night.
Even though Trump's plan for testing was to not test because, as we were all told, if you don't test, then you don't have any cases. But sure, Kudlow never saw a president as unwilling to accept blame as Biden. Yeah, no, that totally checks out. Next, Pence claims that he's never seen a president more disconnected from the American people as Joe Biden is. If only Joe Biden, the guy who came from Scranton, Pennsylvania, went to the University of Delaware and rides his bike for fun, could be more like, say, this guy. If only he were more like the everyman of Donald Trump, someone who really knows what it's like to be a regular guy in America. Ah, well, maybe one day. Kudlow then goes on to claim that he's never seen a president who commits so many falsehoods. Just so we're clear, Donald Trump has lied over 30,000 times while he was president. 30,573 to be exact. I mean, dear God, either Larry Kudlow is such a partisan hack that he can't even hear how ridiculous he sounds, or he's just as big a liar as Trump, or some combination of the two. But either way, the guy sounds like an absolute moron. And beyond that, we are in the middle of the January 6th hearings right now, where a bipartisan committee is investigating what's quite literally called the big lie. A lie so enormous and egregious and coordinated and insidious that it resulted in a coup attempt at the U.S. Capitol. A coup attempt at the U.S. Capitol where the insurrectionists were looking to assassinate the guy right there on that screen, Mike Pence. That's how dangerous Donald Trump's lies were. Those people were about 40 feet away from murdering the person who's currently running cover for the guy who incited those very people. But sure, no liar quite like Joe Biden. Got it. And look, I think it's worth noting that as far as January 6th was concerned, Pence did the bare minimum in terms of following the law, which I suppose in today's environment warrants some degree of praise. And it's ridiculous that I have to say that, but when almost every other Republican was willing to throw our democracy to an authoritarian, the fact that Pence wasn't is commendable in this era of outright criminality by the GOP. But still, dear God, if this guy isn't such a chicken shit. Trump tried to have him killed. When the insurrectionists were only 40 feet away from Pence on January 6th, Trump tweeted criticizing the vice president for not following his illegal fake elector scheme. The Proud Boys told the FBI that they would have killed Pence if they got the chance. He nearly died, and yet still Pence is too scared to utter even the mildest criticism of Trump. And I don't even fully blame Pence. This is what the GOP has devolved into. A cult of personality worshipping some octogenarian reality TV host. What a sad, pathetic fall from grace for the party of Lincoln. So look, if you're looking for some epiphany from any of these people, you're not going to find it. If an assassination attempt didn't knock some sense into Mike Pence, guess what? Nothing will. With the exception of a few Republicans that I can count on one hand, these people exist solely to consolidate power for themselves. If that means they have to grovel at the feet of the guy who's trying to get them personally murdered, so be it. Because there is no morality at play here, no values or principles or hell, even common sense. So when you watch something like this, recognize that the answer isn't to try to reprogram or appeal to them, it's to beat them. So make sure that you vote, because the opposition is composed of people who don't even value their own lives as much as their political party's pursuit of power. To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button right here on this screen. And to support my work beyond that, check out my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I cover the week's most important stories and interview the biggest players in the world of politics, including President Biden, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Katie Porter, and so many more. The link is also right here on this screen. And finally, to take action yourself and sign petitions on the most important issues, go to briantylercohen.com/petition.